interesting way. But let us see. Ye is it tad viduh. The last line is really ye it tad viduh. Those who is ye, ya is ye, sandhi. It indeed, tad, that. Just like English, tad is that. Viduh, those who truly know that. That means feel that and experience that in their own heart and mind. Te ime samasate, they are the happy ones. They sit. Literally, as also is to sit. The other word was sad, to sit and to reside and to be located. But some āsate, they sit beautifully, they sit happily, nicely. Satisfied they are. How? Not by just knowing by heart many prayers. Rich is that word, and it becomes rig, Rig Veda. But by feeling the source, feeling the highest meaning in us, in our own heart and mind. Otherwise, what will they do with the holy books? They make war, called holy war, when they're so misunderstood, and generally it's easy to misunderstand. Everybody will understand according to their own background and capacity. It may not be the same. But it is about that fact that you need to experience through meditation. Otherwise, the knowledge won't do anything unless it's experienced. Does that make sense? I hope. Let us chant it once more. Richo akṣare parame vyoman yasmin devā adhi viśve niṣeduḥ yastanna Veda kim richa kariṣyati ya ittad vidus taime samasate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much. Is it a break? How do we find out if it's a break? My problem is I can't tell if we're online or offline. We're off?
We are online, and people who are watching are going to be patient while we get organized.
I'm sorry, I need...
Mic working? Mine isn't. Oh, yes, it is.
All right, so we sound check. Are we audible?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sarasvati Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha. We will do once more with us leading. Om
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha.
And everybody.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sarasvati Namaha.
Everybody.
Om Shri Sarasvati Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha.
Oh, that's bright. Wow. Welcome, everybody. We are so happy to be here. I think everybody felt some of the room as Bharati was going through the fire and the mantras and then chanting this amazing verse. And thank you, Bharati, for that. It was an amazing verse. Ancient, and you could feel the weight of it. So many of you have come a long distance. Some of you live here, but we're so happy that everybody is here tonight. I'm going to start by just saying the weekend is really for feeling this sound that Bharati was already referring to. The sound is in us. Guruji spent decades training us through the Sanskrit to feel the sound. Sometimes in the San Francisco ashram we would chant nouns and verbs and mantras for hours on end. And every few minutes Guruji would say, just stop and feel. Forget everything we just did. It's time to feel. The feeling should come first, and we should practice that more. And this weekend we're going to practice a lot of the feeling of this language. So one very powerful quote, and this weekend is basically based on this book, which Guruji wrote a long time ago, based on the Nadam event that we're going to be talking about. Anahata, Nadam, hata, from the verb to strike, anahata, unstruck. So every sound that you can make, your foot stamping makes that sound. Tapping the desk, another sound. Everything you do, you open the door, you drop something, it makes a sound. This anahata nadam is unstruck. Nothing causes it. It's nityam, it's eternal. It always was. When you were born, it was there with you. We're carrying it along with us. We just don't notice it. And this is what the weekend is about, paying more attention to it. And it will enliven all of us. So the quote, the first quote of the weekend from Guruji. And feel the words, because the words have some power. Whoa. Anahatanadam is the unstruck sound, the sound of silence, the sound of the void. You can hear it, but you cannot tell what it is. You cannot miss it, but you cannot make any sense of it either. It is that which transformed the world of the senses back into the cosmos of pure energy. And this was Guruji's teaching, to get us to pay attention to that nadam. He would talk to us about neurology, anatomy, Sanskrit on and on, astrology, so many subjects. They were always pointing to this anahata nadam in his legacy teaching. Always wanted us to understand whatever we were talking about came back here. And he would say that every Sanskrit sound that you make goes into your vibrational bank account. And he would say that that bank account, as you practice more and more meditation on the nadam, beyond the body and mind, your bank account will start paying dividends. just like your bank account pays dividends, but our bank accounts don't pay much dividend. This pays dividends. Thank you again.
So we are going to do a lot of chanting this weekend. And one of the subjects we are going to chant is Stotra literature. It is a particular favorite of mine. And Guruji also did a great deal of it with us in the early years. So Stotra comes from the verb stu, to praise, but it is basically verses talking to God or about the divine, and God is understood as being without gender. Some of these verses are very much Vedanta as much as anything. What we try to do is find a mixture, and the mixture should include different meters, different tunes, and different deities. So tonight we are going to just start with a few of these verses, a little bit different from each other, and as the weekend goes on, more and more verses will present themselves. So let me see if I can get this. This is the longest meter I know, and I made the... All right, we may need to lose a little of the Devanagari in order to get all of the English. So those of you who prefer Devanagari have to forgive me in advance. So this one we lead together, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So actually I think we're going to go through this one together and then lead it for you all to follow and enjoy, and we will talk about translation. This is to Sarasvati. And in this verse, Sarasvati is asked for anything you can think of. It is the most comprehensive, please give me, of any stotra verse I know. But it is very appropriate to address Sarasvati and ask for her grace at the beginning of anything involving intellectual activities or the art or anything that comes out of your mouth, because she is the goddess of the tongue. So if you want your words to be wise and kind, you should talk to Sarasvati.
Om Stami Tvam Tvam Cha Vande Mama Kalurasanam No Kadachit Tyajeta Mame Buddhir Viruddha Bhavatu Na Chamano Devi Me Yatu Papam Mame Dukkam Kadachit Kvachirapi Vishaye Yastu Me Nakulatvam Shastre Vade Kavitve Prasaratu Mamadhir Mastu Kunta Kadapi Mastu Kunta Kadapi Om. Before we lead, can we raise this up so we can see all the English?
Oh, yeah.
And not worry about the last line or the first line.
Okay. So I think before we lead for everybody, let's do translation. So the first sentence, and you will notice where you see a comma, that is where there is a little yati. Yati comes from the verb yam, to restrain, and there is not a full big pause, but there is just a little bit of a rest in the middle of some of the longer meters. So we represent in the English by a comma. And oftentimes in this verse, well, not every time, it can be a sentence. So here are two sentences actually. Staumi Tvam, I praise you. Tvam Chavande, and I worship you. Mama Kalu Rasanam, no Kadachit Tyajeta. So Rasanam is tongue. And you should never, nakadachit, abandon my tongue. Indeed. So, this is prayer to Goddess of Speech. And clear thinking. Mame buddhir viruddha. You will be maybe remembering from Yoga Sutras that we have vritti nirodha, right? Same verb rud, to block. So here the poet, the devotee is saying, may my intellect not be blocked. And may my mind, next sentence, nacha mano, O Goddess, may it not go to anything sinful. So let my mind, you control where it should go, only toward good things. Mame dukkham kadachit. This one I have given a lot of thought to, because those of you who remember Guruji know he used to say sometimes pray for pain. So what is the difference between pain and misery? And I have had decades to consider this in challenging times. Pain is that which cuts you and helps you to find the truer part of you. Misery is what you get stuck in. So here we are not saying that life should always be easy, but we should not get sunk in misery. Not that it should always be easy. And similarly, next sentence, Kvachidapi vishaye pyastu me nakulatvam. So this is where I think it is more clear if you break the sandhi, and I will do temporarily. That is na akulatvam. What is akula? It is to be all upset about things. So here, this one I think really very much like, let me not be bent out of shape about anything. So annoyances are part of our life, but what it is what we do with them, the response. That is this nice Dalai Lama quote that kept me going for years, that somebody re-gifted me with, that adversities will come that we cannot control. What we control is our response. So here, the devotee is asking for the goddess to help with that response. Let me not be all bent out of shape about any subject matter. So I will put back sandhi. And then coming to the part of intellect again, shastre, in terms of scripture, vade, in discourse and particularly in debate. So the verb vad means to speak, but vada is usually scholarly debate. Kavitve, in poetry or in wisdom, can translate either way. Shastre vade kavitve prasaratu. Guruji used to say, it does not always work, but often works, that if you put pra in front of something, it makes it to go nicely. So the mantra Bharati did, it had the verb sad, to sit. So sitting can be either something sits well or not well. If it sits well, you have prasanna, you have happy form, and also prasada, grace. So here we have not sitting, but we have moving. Prasar, different verb. So may my intellect move nicely in all of these realms. Anything I am doing, scripture, debate, poetry, may my intellect move well, and may I never have kunta, dullness, kadapi, ever. So that is often in many verses to Sarasvati, you have the word also jadya. That's like inertia. When the mind does not move, it is stuck. So this is Saraswati's grace to prevent. So this is the longest meter I know, and in this particular example, I think there are more requests than anything you can see, but it is all very much what you would ask of that goddess. So let us do now together. We will lead in response and then all together. Stami tvam tvam cha vande. Stami tvam tvam cha vande. Mama kalurasanam. Mama kalurasanam. No kadachit tyajeta. No kadachit tyajeta. Mame buddhir viruddha. Mame buddhir viruddha. Bhavatu na chamano. Bhavatu na chamano. Devi me yatu papam. Devi me yatu papam. Mame dukkam kadachit. Mame dukkam kadachit. Kvachirapi vishaye. Kvachirapi vishaye. Pyastu me na kulatvam. Pyastu me na kulatvam. Shastre vade kavitve. Shastre vade kavitve. Prasaratu mama dhir. Prasaratu mama dhir. Mastu kunta kadapi. Mastu kunta kadapi. Together. Stami tvam tvam cha vande. Mama kalurasanam. No kadachit tyajeta. Mame buddhir viruddha. Bhavatu na chamano. Devi me yatu papam. Mame dukkam kadachit. Kvachirapi vishaye. Pyastu me na kulatvam. Shastre vade kavitve. Prasaratu mama dhir. Mastu kunta kadapi. Mastu kunta kadapi. One moment silence, sit and feel.
So we have this sound in us, the nada, and we have the sound of nada all around us. Many people talk about the sound being this thousands of crickets on a warm summer night on the East Coast. You hear those stream of sound that the crickets make. This is, in my experience, this is the sound of the nada. This is nature speaking to us through the nature outside. So we have the sound in us. it's so close to us, we don't even recognize it half the time. So this weekend is to recognize it a little bit more. And that sound is also can be felt by electromagnetic energy in us. So we're going to do this shaking out of the hands. If you have any problem with your hands or arms, don't do this. Just sit and feel. But we're going to shake the hands out really well. And then I'm going to guide us through an experience with this electromagnetic energy in us. And then just let your palms a comfortable distance apart face each other. And notice the electromagnetic energy sitting there. Keep the left palm still and move the right palm slowly toward and away from the to the left and away. In slow motion back and forth. And pay attention. Just like you're underwater, but you're under the stream of electromagnetic energy. And now keep the right palm still and move the left palm slowly toward and away from the right. And just let go into that electromagnetic pulsation of energy. And then slowly move both palms toward and away from each other at the same time. And pay attention because that sound of the nadam is also vibrating in us at the same time. As a matter of fact, this electromagnetic energy between our palms is the same thing as that nada sound that we can hear in our ears. And then slowly just let your palms come down to your lap and continue to feel that electromagnetic energy in your palms. So the Sanskrit mantras that we're going to chant and respond to, the feeling in the hands, and we'll do this a few times over the weekend, the hands, and the sound that we hear, these are all meant to guide us inside to feel more and more. We know that in our culture, in many cultures, it's learn fast, go to school, get your degree fast, get a job, make your money. Sanskrit says no, slow down and feel this. And by feeling this more and more, it will help you in whatever you do in your life. It will pay dividends, there's no question.
So we are now going to go to a very different feel of mantra.
Oh, by the way, if anybody has any question or anything to contribute, want to share during the whole weekend, raise your hand and we'll take a moment to get to you. Louder? Yeah? Oh, more light. Okay. Of course.
Different kind of electromagnetic energy. Oh.
Should we introduce ourselves?
No.
No need. Okay, good.
For people who were remote, I was just saying that the next mantra is very different in feel. And this is to Lord Ganesha. Very happy deity, as a friend of ours reminded me. So together, we will do together once, and then Shanta will lead us in leading. Yeah? Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada.
So at this point we want to have 3 or 4 people offer to echo me as we move through this verse piece by piece. Anybody just, It's very simple. I'll start with a little piece, and then everybody will echo. What?
We demonstrate.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah, you lead and I will be the echo.
Oh,
and
she's
then,
right.
Then
She's right.
they will understand.
Vakratunda,
Vakratunda,
Mahakaya, Mahakaya. So we're going to go along like that. But we need 4 people, so it'll be not just 2 of us echoing, but me and 4 others. How about that? Chauncey, you'll follow me. Who will follow Chauncey?
Jaishri?
Jaishri, you'll follow Chauncey. Who will follow Jaishri?
Oh, in the back, I'm sorry, I'm not knowing your name. Susan.
Susan, you'll follow Jaishri. And you have to remember who you follow. Because part of this is not just the sound, but paying attention to your place. Because if we break the chain, it's not good.
Madhuri.
Madhuri
Yeah.
after Susan. So that's 4, yeah? Okay. I will start.
Hold on.
Sure.
There we go.
Vakratanda.
Susan?
Mahakaya. Lovely. Suryakoti. Samaprabha. As we go through this, everybody listen, feel the echo in you. It's very powerful. Nirvignam. Kurume devā. Sarva. Karyeshu. Sarvada. Lovely. Let's do it all together now. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada.
So meaning, Vakratunda, that is, he has curved trunk, yeah? Mahakaya, very great body. So this is case of address. We are talking to Lord Ganesha. And he is addressed in this form, and this is my favorite one, Suryakoti Samaprabha. He whose brilliance is that of, I think a koti is 1,000, maybe 1,000,000, very many suns.
And you know, when you look into the one sun we have, it's pretty intense. You really can't do it. But this is talking about thousands of suns. That's impossible to take in.
So very great God. And what is asked? Nirvignam. May I be without obstacle. Kuru, make me, Deva, O God, sarva karyeshu, in all of my activities, sarvada. So asking for grace that what I am trying to do should not be blocked, it should go forth nicely.
And always.
But you can feel how different is this mantra, different meter, different energy completely. And still, it is all vibration, it is all grace. We do this one again together?
Yeah. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Om Om. Let's take a moment to feel that.
So in the beginning of things, we salute, 10 million suns. That is our koti. We salute Ganesha. We salute Sarasvati and the Guru. So we have more than one verse to the Guru this weekend, and we will do many other deities tomorrow and Sunday. But Shanta and I happen to like this very simple one.
This is from the Guru Stotram, and it's number 12 of, I don't remember how many verses, but it's a fabulous sound and it's a fabulous meaning, which we will go through. We'll chant it together first and then we'll do it all together. Manata Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I think we can all do this one together, no leading.
Let us do it again together.
Everybody.
Manata Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
Again.
Manata Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So, this is Sandhi again. I'm grateful to Bharati Ji for too many things that I could possibly have time to say. But one is she has done a nice job in the last couple of days of talking about what is Sandhi. So Sandhi is when letters change when they come together. And in conversational Sanskrit, it is optional. So you can talk with Sandhi or not as you like. And I find it natural to do a bit of both. Sometimes sandhi, sometimes not. In verses, it is obligatory. So what we will be chanting this weekend, we will be having sandhi everywhere. But let us look at a little bit of it in this verse. So we have mannatha was originally mud. So mud, we're going to chant aham tomorrow, maybe Sunday also. Aham is very nice chanting.
Pronoun.
It is the word I. So when I first became exposed to this philosophy, one of the questions that was very famous was, who am I? And that still comes up as a very profound thing to meditate on. Who am I? But it also happens to be in Sanskrit excellent to chant. But when you put it in compounds, it becomes mud, or mat, or man. So, mannatha, my Lord. Shri Jagannatha is the Lord of the universe. Madguru, my teacher, is the teacher of the universe. Madatma, myself, is the self of all beings. Salutations to that teacher. So it is very common in Stotra literature that you will have sometimes a great deal of imagery and then pure Vedanta stuck in. This is example of it where it is just very, very simple Sanskrit. But coincidentally, we both like this verse a lot. And who is this Guru? This is the Guru of the universe, but it is ourself, as ourself is the self of all beings.
Guruji used to say about Sandhi, when we meet each other, maybe it's somebody that you never saw before, but you meet and you talk, so you're adjusting to each other's way of going about talking. And the Sandhi does the same thing within the language to make the words flow nicely together. So you see somebody coming and you think, oh, I know that person, I should maybe make conversation, but you want to make a nice conversation. Guruji did this talk many times, and it's always inspiring to hear it.
It is also, sun was originally, this is Sandhi, is making this word. It comes from the verb dha, same verb we get samadhi from. So dha is to put or to place, and sam means completely or fully or together. So we are putting together, and the words flow. So that is part of how Sanskrit works, is flow. So we should chant this again, and I have to also ask, we are adjusting to teaching here hybrid style first time. When I teach at home on Zoom, I have a little camera at the top of my screen. I mean, sorry, not a little camera, a little clock. So I have no clock here. We can do another mantra, but if somebody could tell us what time it is, it would be lovely. 8:40. Okay, so there is time for another mantra or two.
Yes.
So
and does anybody have any question, any feedback? How about from the hands, anything at all? Can you say something about wow? No? Okay. Good. Wow is good enough. Very powerful. Pardon? Oh,
let's chant.
Let's
okay.
Chant.
All right.
The cool thing about the hands, if you're at work or you're somewhere you're not feeling great, you can go off for a minute. It takes 2 minutes to tune into that, and it changes you. You could be having a bad day. The bad day won't be so bad.
Let us do this one again, and then find our next mantra. There's a choice of a couple. Together.
Manata Shri Jagannatho Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
So we have two more typed. Let us do both of them for chanting, one right after another, and then we will pick one of them, one or both, to take more detail. This one we did in August, and some of you have met before, but it's really nice verse and worth doing more times. This is from Bharati, one of the Mahakavi, great poets of Sanskrit, and it is to Shiva, and celebrating Shiva in the form of air or wind. And that is where sound comes from. And I tried to pick verses that had some sound theme to them. So
And
this
you'll notice when the first sound that you can make, when the air comes up from your lungs through your throat, what is that sound? What is that very first something? And that's why in the Sanskrit alphabet, every consonant is born with an because that's where it has to start. And you notice in so many verses, there are so many short uhs and long ahs. And that's a very powerful sound that carries magnetic energy with it, especially. This is a very special verse with a special meter. And I think what we should do is we'll chant it first by ourselves, and then we'll lead part by part because it's a little bit tricky. Tarasa bhuvananiyo bibharti dvanati brahmayata param paritram parito duritaniya pavite Shiva tasmai pavanatmane namaste. So we'll lead each line, and then you guys join in. Tarasa bhuvananiyo bibharti. Everybody. Tarasa bhuvananiyo bibharti dvanati brahmayata param pavitram dvanati brahmayata param pavitram parito duritaniya punite parito duritaniya punite Shiva tasmai pavanatmane namaste Shiva tasmai pavanatmane namaste.
together.
Tarasa bhuvananiyo bibharti dvanati brahmayata param pavitram parito duritaniya punite Shiva tasmai pavanatmane namaste.
Next verse, different meter. This is to the teacher. Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tata Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tata Sarvasvavastasvapi Sarvasvavastasvapi Vyavritasvanuvartamanahamid Vyavritasvanuvartamanahamid Tyanta
spurantam sada. Tyanta spurantam sada. Svatmanam prakriti karoti bhajatam. Svatmanam prakriti karoti bhajatam. Yo mudraya bhadraya. Yo mudraya bhadraya. Sorry. Spent 2.5 years talking through masks, and I think it has dried out my throat. Sweetie, can you get me more water?
Oh, sure. Don't forget the last line.
I started to break some of the sandhi, excuse me, to make translation easier. I would love a cough drop. Thank you. Thank you. So, last line is where we salute the Guru, so we have to definitely
Stop coughing.
stop coughing and salute the Guru. Tasmai Shri
Guru Murtaye Nama Idam. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam. Shri Dakshina Murtaye.
Shri
Dakshina Murtaye. Together. Balyadishvapi Jagradadishu Tata Sarvasvastasvapi Vyavrittasu Vartamanamahamit Yanta Spurantam Sada Svatmanam Prakriti Karoti Bhajatam Yo Mudraya Bhadraya Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshina Murtaye.
One moment silence. So I'm going to do a loose translation of the one to the Guru. It is really pure Vedanta. It is the main sentence is salutations to that Guru. That's the last line, right? And in this case, the Guru is known as Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti, if you look up in the dictionary or you talk to people, this is a form of Shiva. But when Guruji first taught this stotra to me, I remember it being just that this was the kind side of God. And the whole stotra is all about what is the nature of this teacher. So this teacher is that which is antaspurantam. If you look here, second pada, antaspurantam. Anta is within, spurantam vibrating. When is it vibrating within us? Sada. It is always there. This teacher is always within us. And under what situations? Balyadi. Balyam is childhood. So adi is etc. It is literally means that, well, it is literally different, but in context it means etc. So what does that mean? That which is vibrating within us, childhood, youth, middle age, old age, every stage of life, this teacher is there, vibrating within us. And again, what situations? Jagradadi. Jagrat is waking. So Guruji always said, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. All of these are encompassed here. So this is the teacher which we have under all situations, no matter what else is going on. That teacher is there. And then third pada, he is bringing it back to an external image, where he said that teacher who teaches through divine mudras or gestures, who reveals himself. Swatmanam prakati karoti. But in the early years, Bharati would organize that we would do Guru mantras for Guru Purnima and for our Guru's birthday. So it was a bit of summer grace to have Guru mantras. Because Guru Purnima is often July, I think usually July, but Indian calendar can vary. So I don't want to say that full moon is always July. And our Guru's Guru, that we have picture there to the left of our Guru, that would be in August usually. So we would be doing Dakshinamurti Stotram and Guru Stotram. It was part of summer grace. So we are transcending all seasons, coming back in fall, refinding these mantras. So I think maybe we should end with doing several all together and then having a little bit of silence. So is it too much to do from the beginning? What is a good place to start?
How about Staumitvam? Just do that.
Okay. Anybody have questions of meaning of what we have done so far? Okay. Thank you. Good.
I think we can chant Staumitvam all together.
Let us do it together and then have few moments of silence to feel the energy. And apologies that I went large on I can't do both fonts.
This is fine.
So.
So together. Staumitvam tvam chabande mama kalrasanam no kadachit tyajeta mame buddhir viruddha bhavatuna chamano Devi me yatu papam mame dukkham kadachit kvachirapi vishaye Yastu me nakulatvam Shastre vade kavitve Prasaratu mamadhir Mastu kanta kadapi Mastu kanta kadapi Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Finish up with one more quote that I forgot. But this is very powerful. The inner sound, then, the sound that we've been paying attention to, is nature's alarm clock to awaken us. This is Guruji's writing. It is our telephone call coming long distance from heaven through our body and mind to alert us to pay attention to our inner life. It is the voice of God within, not a religious or sectarian God, but pure consciousness, to awaken us to who we are, the self, the I am. Thus, it is the manifestation of grace, not a curse. This inner current is the vehicle to carry us on and on in our inner journey.
So I don't know where the sheets are, but I like myself Tvameva Mata. So if we can end with that one more Shantipata.
Tvameva Mata, Japita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhu, Jasaka Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya, Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam, Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.
Thank you so much, all friends. We will be enjoying again tomorrow, and we will again have some after Farsamari mantra or something, I'm not sure what. Bharati needs to make announcements, so I will be quiet. Then we will have great grace of Devin doing some verses on sound as part of tomorrow morning program. Namo Namah.